Hi friends and welcome to my nest. My name is Kate. Today we're going to be sewing the last block, which is block number 12 of our Designer Mystery Block of the Month by 5/4 Shop. And so this is what our block is going to look like today right here. And I'm going to show you what my block look like. This is what my block look like. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys are probably wondering why I have not had a video for the past 2 weeks. Well, the first week that I didn't have a video, I was sick. Like I didn't have a voice. You couldn't hear what I said. I lost my voice. I couldn't really film anything. And that was a lot. And then last week we had a tornado that hit us down here in Texas, and I live in Cyprus, and our community got hit with a tornado, and a lot of people had damage to their home. Luckily, we were okay. We lost power for a few days, so that's why couldn't even use my sewing machine because we didn't have power. So I was stuck at home, can't sew. So yeah, it was it was hot and we had no power. So that's where we were and that's what happened. Here we are today. I'm going to sew this block. So I do apologize for that, but sometimes some things are out of our control and we just kind of have to be patient and live through it, and that's kind of what we did. So what we're going to do today is continue on, pick up, and sew block number 12, and that's what I'm going to do today. The designer for this last block is Lisa Bonjean right here. She is a moda designer. She is the designer behind Primitive Gathering. She's also here on YouTube, Primitive Gathering. She has Retreat House in Wisconsin. She also has like a big quilting shop up there, and her style is a little bit different. She's a little bit more traditional of a quilter. So you also can follow her on YouTube as well under Lisa Bonjean, Primitive Gathering. So there you go. That's who designed the block for this month. So let's get sewing the block, okay? I have my pieces all cut out here, and this looks a little different. So that's because I'm going to make the flying geese part. I'm just going to make 4 at a time. And so that's what I'll be doing here. Let's go ahead and sew block number 12 of our Designer Mystery Block of the Month. So today I'm using my Jonome M7 to make this block, and I've already gotten it prepped, ready to go. I have my 1/4 inch set right here, and I have the 1/4 inch foot with the 1/4 inch guide right here ready to go. What I'm going to do is sew the flying geese a little different. I will show you how I do that on this video, and then and here we are, and let's get ready to go. I'm not going to be drawing a line. I'm just going to use this 1/4 inch guide tape right here. This is what I'm going to be using today, the 1/4 inch guide to sew the blocks. So that's what we're going to be doing. Yeah, so let's sew this block, right? So the first thing we're doing here is making our like a 7 patch. So what we're going to do is take our D piece right here. I'm going to set it right here on the table. So I have my D piece right here on the side, and I'm going to take my B piece, which is right here, and I'm going to take my C and D. I'm going to take my C, and I'm going to put it like this, right? And then I'm going to take another piece of my B piece, and then I'm going to put another D piece right here, okay? So this is what we're going to be sewing. This is going to be the setup right here. So what I'm going to do is sew this one, sew these, and sew this, and then join them together. And I'll meet you here, okay? So now that I have all my pieces sewn right here, I'm going to assemble it, make sure that I get them right. I did press to the dark side. In this case, that will be our pink. So they will all nest when I'm sewing them. So this is what we're going to have when we're all done with this patch right here. So what I'm going to do is sew all of them together. So with this right here, I am not going to pin. I'm just going to hold my seams right here so that way they will nest. So that's what I'm going to do, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to sew this part on. So this patch is done right here. We're going to need to make 4 of this. What I'm going to do now is going ahead and press this so it will be flat. So we need to make 4 that looks just like this, and I've completed making all 4 of them right here. So what I'll do is put them to the side like that. The next thing we're going to do is make our flying geese like I talked about earlier. Without giving away the pattern, I have cut 7 3/4 square background. And then this right here is 4 1/4. So what I'm going to do is make 4 at a time flying geese. I'm going to put this like this, and I'm going to put this like this, right? So when you're done, you fold back, the basket weave part will be going this way, and then just like that. Okay, so what I'll do now is pin these down, pin here and pin here, and then I'll pin here to keep it in place. I will draw a line down the middle, and I am using my friction erasable pen, so and it's red so I can see. I'm just going to draw a line because I'm making only one, just so you can see the definitive line. Okay, I'm also 1/4 inch apart from my line. I have that seam allowance tape right here that's helping me, so that way I know what I'm doing. And also the foot that I'm using has a groove where a 1/4 inch on the left side is and where a 1/4 inch on the right side is. So that helps a lot. All right, so now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and use a scissors and snip down the middle. Doesn't really matter right now because I have a line, so I'm just going to go over and snip. So now what I'll do is take this, press it, and come back and sew the rest. So now we have a piece looking like this. Okay, I have this piece here looking like this, and I have this piece here looking like this. So what we're going to do is take our square piece, and I'm going to put it like this. I don't need to draw a line down the middle. I'm just going to pin so that way they don't move, and I will just sew a 1/4 inch apart from the center, and I already have that seam allowance. That helps me. And then I'm going to come back around and sew 1/4 inch apart, and I have my groove right there. So if I flip over, I have both of my basket weave going the right direction. Both of my lines are going this direction. And the reason why is because I put these on. So when I put my square on, I went on ahead and rotated it to where when I flip it over, it will look the same like that. So I just kind of flipping it over until I got the right angle that I need. So let me show you here. I went ahead and put it sideways, so when I flip it over, it will look like this. And both of my basket weaving right here are facing the same way. So that's what I did. When you're sewing this, because it will look funny if you don't have it right. So what you will do is rotate it until you get the right angle, flip it over, look at it, make sure they match. That's pretty much what I did. I just want to like explain that a little bit so that way when you go sew yours, it wouldn't look weird. So now that both of my pieces are sewn together, I'm going to go ahead and trim both of them. Okay, so that's done. And then I'll do the same here, trim it, fold it over. Now it looks a little funny because we're still going to trim. So all 4 of the flying geeses are sewn. What I'm going to do now is trim it to the size that we need because they look a little wonky. I'm going to put my ruler on here and I will trim to the size that we need. I have all 4 of my flying geese completed. Okay, so they are trim, and that's how I make my 4 at a time flying geese. Now this is what's going to be required to do the finishing part of the quilt. That's the method that I use for that part. So our next step is to make the middle piece right here. So that's what we're going to do. Now this is a relatively easy block to make, but it's just a little bit of a step. So we're just going to take our F sew it to both sides. We're going to take our two of our F pieces, right, and we're going to sew our D pieces onto both sides. And come back around here. And I'm just going to fold, press to the lighter part. So now this is done. I'm just going to put them right here. And I'm going to take the next two F pieces and sew it to our G piece, just like this. All right, so what I'm going to do with this is press to our dark side. In this case, that's the blue piece. So now that I've done that, I've finger pressed it. I'm going to bring these two pieces that we sewed earlier. I'm just going to sew it onto here. So I'm going to just make sure that they nest. I'm not going to pin on this. I'm just going to hold on together. So here we are. This piece right here is done. So what we're going to do is assemble this block. Put this in the middle and put our flying geese that we made 4 at a time. Put it here. So here we are assembling it. And so this is our 4 corner pieces. I need to make sure that these are put on the right way. So the direction of which these are facing does matter. We're going to put it like so. What I'm going to do now is just kind of piece this together. So what this is, it's a star block, but it's just a little fancier. So what I'm going to do now is piece this together, and our block number 12 is all done. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm just going to make sure that I pin right here where my points do meet, and so that way I make sure that my star will look decent. So now what I'm doing is just pinning. Come around here and pin one more time. So this block is completed and done, but we have to put the finishing part on each block. So this is kind of what our finishing part is going to look like when it's all sewn on. I have not finished, I've not sewn it on yet. So what I'm going to do now is sew this part to this part, and then we will be finished. So here we are. All of the parts are sewn on. The way I made the flying geese here was the exact same way of how I made this flying geese. I made 4 at a time flying geese to create all of the flying geese needed to assemble the entire quilt. So that's what I did with everything. Each block will be in the middle from block number 1 through 12. And then you will just put your finishing pieces at the end and sew it, including your sashing that will go with the quilt. This is block number 12 with its finishing piece that will go along with each blocks. This is what each block will look like. So when you finish showing your block, it'll look like this. And with that being said, I have completed all of my 12 blocks for our designer mystery block of the month for 2023-2024 sew along. So this is what my block number 12 looks like. And I hope you've been sewing along with me. And if you haven't started yet, you can always refer back to the blocks that I have completed to date from block number 1 all the way to block number 12. So everything will be here on YouTube. The next thing I'm going to do is just kind of piece all of the blocks together, including the sashing as well. So, but for now, this is block number 12. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I've completed my block all the way to number 12. That being said, that's block number 12 all completed. I hope you've enjoyed sewing along with me. And if you have, please don't forget to subscribe down below, and I will hope to see you in my next video. You have a great day. Bye.